So where do I start? Because it's been a year ago and I cannot believe I have a 1 year old, but it has been a crazy journey. So like this story is crazy. So I'm just gonna let it flow. I'm just gonna say what happened. And y'all let me know if y'all have had any crazy birth stories that come close to mine, because I was kind of traumatized. That's what I'm kind of like, why did you have another one so close? You won't traumatize from the first one? But whatever. We're gonna keep it moving. So it all started because I went to the doctor. Like, you know how you have your checkups every week, leading up to the 40-week mark. So around 39 weeks, I went to my weekly checkup. Nothing, out of the ordinary. I told her that I'd been reading up on some things, because as a first-time mom, I was reading, I was YouTubing. I was doing everything possible to try to figure out how I'm going to push this baby out, because I can assure you guys, I was not ready. I was not prepared. I didn't know what was about to happen to me, clearly. Like, I watched so many birth blogs, so many birth stories. I was just like, I don't know how mine is going to be different, but everybody told me in those stories and those vlogs, do not try to compare yours to mine, because every birth is different. No birth is the same, and I can tell you, they were right. So I went to the doctor as normal, woke up that morning. I think the appointment was like around 9:30 a.m. I got there, she checked me, made sure she could tell me if I was dilated or not, because I was so excited. I wanted to be more dilated, but I had only been dilating like maybe 1.5 at that point. So when she checked me again, I was at 2.5, because she kept making me excited, because she kept saying, I think the baby's gonna come early. I think the baby's gonna come early. And I'm like, okay, well, I hope she does come early, because, okay, just a disclaimer for everyone that has babies in December, because that's when my child was born. She was born in December. So a disclaimer for you guys. Me and my husband had health care with a specific healthcare provider. And we were scared that if she came, because our due date was December 29th. So if she came anywhere in that vicinity, we would have to switch healthcare providers. And at the specific one that we use, Kaiser is its own little entity. So for Kaiser, when you have other insurance companies, they're not going to accept it. So for us, we were very nervous, because we knew in January we were not going to have Kaiser any longer. So we were scared of the fact that when we had her on the 29th, if anything had went wrong, I had to have a C-section or anything, I had to stay in the hospital a few extra days, that our insurance would not cover, and we would have to pay the bill. And of course, no one got all that money, because I am going to go over the bills later, and y'all can see how much it really is to have a baby, and it's very, 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 very expensive. So for us, we were just very nervous that she was going to come around the 29th, her actual due date, and I was nervous to have any complications, and I did not want to put that stress on me and the baby to have to worry about if we had her at Kaiser and we would have to get out of the hospital on December 31st before they cut our insurance off, go to the new hospital with the new insurance provider that we would have started January 1st, because our insurance company told us that, yes, we will stop billing you at December 31st, 11:59 p.m. We will stop paying anything that happens. So you are responsible January 1st at 12 a.m. regardless. And I was like, wow, that's so yeah, just to let you know, a disclaimer for anybody that's having a kid in December towards the end, near the New Year's. I know, new baby, and you're all excited, but make sure you keep that in mind when you have all these different healthcare providers, and make sure you ask all the questions, because I did, and I'm happy I did. But to my grace and God, He made sure that she came early, so I didn't even have those issues. So I was very excited. She came a little early. So rewind back to the doctor. So like I said, she checked me. I was 2.5 centimeters. She was like, okay, cool. So we went ahead and I went home. I don't know why I got in my spirit that I was going to have the energy to walk 3 miles. But I did, for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm crazy. I'm like pregnant. I'm 39 weeks pregnant, and I think I can walk a marathon. I don't know what's wrong with me. So I put on my clothes. Like, I had workout clothes. Like, this was a real thing. So I put on my workout clothes. I put on my workout shoes and I just went outside because I'm at home. My husband went to work after the appointment, so he's not there. I'm home alone. So I get into my little energy bag, I don't know, and I go outside and I walk 3 miles around our little neighborhood. So I'm walking, I'm listening to YouTube and stuff. I'm like so excited, got my podcast going, not thinking nothing of it. Get home and I talked to my husband. I'm like, yeah, babe, I just did a 3-mile walk. I feel like I could do anything. Like, you know. So talking to my mom on the phone, just like telling her I did 3-mile walk too. She's like cussing me out, like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why would you do 3 miles? Like, you could have been passed out. Nobody would have known. I'm like, all right, Mom, I'm back in the house now. I'm safe and sound. That's what I thought anyway. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, man, I gotta use the bathroom. So I get up, I go use the bathroom. I used the bathroom as normal, peed, that's it. And I got up and so for me, I don't know why I always look in the toilet. I don't know. A lot of people don't do that. But for me, when I was pregnant, I was scared that anything could happen. I didn't want to know if my mucus plug was leaving, if the water was breaking. Every time I went to the bathroom, I would look in the toilet. I look down and I see blood. I don't know what I did wrong, but I did something wrong because I'm bleeding and I was supposed to be bleeding. So with Kaiser, they have this 24-hour call center that you can call at any time and you can get, like a nurse. So I called the 24-hour line and the lady is like, I'm just on the phone like, hey, I'm bleeding. I don't know why. She's like, aren't you 39 weeks? I said, yes, ma'am, I'm 39 weeks. I just went to the bathroom, I peed, I looked down, it's blood, I'm scared. She was like, okay, well, I'm gonna need you to get your hospital bag and come in because you might be in early stages of labor. So at that point, I'm freaking out because I just did a 3-mile walk. I'm like disgusted. Like, I need to take a shower because I know once I get to the hospital, a lot of people, since I've been watching all these stories and vlogs, they told me that, you're not really taking no shower at that point. You're like, you're done. You're not eating. You're not taking a shower. You're not doing anything. So at that point, I'm scared. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm here by myself. The hospital was 40 minutes away. That was another problem. So I'm like, okay, I can't get into the car and drive myself there. So I'm like, let me call my husband or whatever. So before I could even call him, I start having contractions. So, okay, you can only imagine. I'm home alone. My husband is an hour away because that's another thing to the story. His job was an hour away. So I'm home alone. The hospital's 40 minutes away. My husband is an hour away. My mom lives 2 hours away. So I'm just freaking out. I start having contractions. I'm still on the phone with the lady, my dad. I'm going through these motions while I'm on the phone with her. Thank God for that lady. I wish I knew her name, but so I'm on the phone with her and I'm just like, oh, and she's like, are you okay, ma'am? And I was like, no, I just had this crazy feeling. She was like, is it a contraction? I said, lady, I'm sorry, but I've never had a contraction. And she was like, okay, so how does it feel? Is it every 2 minutes? She asking her questions. And I'm just like, I don't know. All I know is it feels like somebody's in my stomach turning my lower stomach. That's all I know. And she's like, okay, ma'am, I think you have contractions. If they start speeding up every 2 minutes, you need to call the ambulance. So I'm like, oh no, I gotta call the ambulance. My husband is an hour away. Like, I'm going through these motions. I'm like, okay, lady, I need to call you back because I need to call my husband. So I'm in, like, okay, from the bathroom is about a 20-foot walk. So I'm like walking at that point with my hand on my bag, like I'm freaking out. I'm calling him. I'm saying, babe, I had a contraction. He was like, oh my God, like I just got off work. It's going to take me an hour to get here. Mind you, we live near the DC area. If you know anything about Washington, D.C., then you know the traffic here is crazy. So he was like, babe, it's Friday night. It was Friday night. Like, it couldn't have got any worse. Like, the whole situation was horrible. So he's like, babe, it's Friday night. I'm not going to get to you until an hour. It's nothing I can do. I cannot get past these people. I'm sitting in standstill traffic as we speak. At that point, I start freak out. I start flipping out because I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have this baby here right now in this living room and nobody's going to be here with me. So I'm screaming. So at that point, I get off the phone with him. I call my mom. She's screaming. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm coming. I'm like, Mom, it's going to take you 2 hours to get here. Just meet me at the hospital because by the time you get there, I'll be there. So my mom's like freaking out, like, what are you going to do? You need to call the ambulance. I did not want to call the ambulance. And I don't really know why I didn't call the ambulance. I waited like a dummy in excruciating pain. Tried to wait for my husband to get home for an hour. And that's what I did for an hour. I waited. I heard that taking a shower eases the labor pain. So I tried to get to the shower. But that's another thing, because with our house, you have to go up more steps to get to our room. So for me, I couldn't make it. I was literally on my hands and knees, crawling up the steps like a cat or a dog. Like, I'm literally like crawling, like, oh, like dying every 5 seconds. Okay, by the time I could even make it up half the steps, my husband's here. So he's like, running around, babe, where are you? Where are your shoes? Where's your purse? Where's your hospital? Like, he's freaking out. And I'm just sitting here like, I'm the one who should be freaking out. I'm having a baby. So I grab my stuff, get in the car. He grabs the hospital bag, get in the car. Thank God we had everything ready. We had the car seat already in the car because I'm an organized individual. I'm a very organized individual. I had my child's room ready. I'm not even gonna lie. I had her room ready at 30 weeks and I was ready. I was ready to be a mom anytime after 30 weeks because her room was up. Everything was together. The hospital bag was prepared. I had the car seat already. Like, I was ready. Do you hear me? Ready. So I was just waiting. At that point, I'm like, come on. I can take it. So clearly I was a little bit too confident because God knocked me right on down to the floor. This fool decides he wanted to drive all slow and stop at stoplights. I said, do you not understand what's going on in my uterus? I, at that point, was contracting every minute to 2 minutes. Every minute to 2 minutes, I felt this excruciating pain. And I was not breathing through the contractions. I know that's bad, but I wasn't. I was like, squeezing anything I could get my hands on in the car. And this fool is stopping at stoplights. So I'm just over it. I'm cussing him out. My mom keep calling, like, I'm almost there. I'm an hour away. I'm this and that. I'm like, oh my gosh. I call everybody I needed to call. Probably left some people out. Don't really matter because I was in distress. So I got into the emergency room. And they checked me in. They was like, okay, we're going to roll you on to the labor and delivery. They rolled me on. The lady asked me, did I want an epidural? At that point, I had been laboring for 2 hours. 2 hours too long. So for me, absolutely. Give me the epidural ASAP scat now. And she came in about 5 minutes later with a good epidural. And I was so thankful. Because after that, I was very, very calm. I was very calm. I was happy. I was at peace at that point. I could make the remaining phone calls I needed to make. Like going natural, and that is your prerogative. And I give it up to every female that has ever delivered a baby naturally. I mean, I could not do it. I'm gonna be honest. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. Laboring for 2 hours was hell for me. I couldn't do it. So I give it up to everybody that has went natural or had their kids at home or not in the hospital or whatever. Like, you are amazing. After I got my epidural, that's when I went to sleep. I got to relax. My husband was much more calmed down, which I don't really understand why he was tongue tied, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. As the contractions progressed, I had been getting, some more contractions, but I just couldn't feel them as much, and I was happy about that. I was laying in the bed, and she checked me. She said, you're 8 centimeters. And I was like, oh, snap. Like, in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm about to get ready to push this baby out. So, because she wasn't breech, she was head down. Everything was perfect. I could have not had a better birth experience. It was just everything that led around it was crazy. So she was head down, she was ready to go, 8 centimeters. And literally, I'm not even gonna lie, 30 minutes to 45 minutes later, she comes back and she's like, okay, you're 9 centimeters. Are you ready to push? I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to push. She was like, well, this baby is coming whether you like it or not. You are about 15 more minutes from being 10 centimeters. Like, you have to push this baby. So I'm like, okay. So she goes over the pushing protocol with me. So I'm laying there. I hear her talking. But all I can think about is the fact that it's a baby coming out of me in about 1 hour, and I'm going to lose it because I've never had a baby. I don't know what to expect. I don't want to tear. I was so scared to tear. So I hear her talking and telling me what to do, but I ain't listening to her. I'm in my head like, oh my God, God, please. I'm praying in my head. So after she's done talking, yeah, that's when everybody rushed in. Everybody rushed in, put my legs up in the stirrups, and they're like, okay, she's about to come. I'm like, oh snap. So she's like, okay, you're gonna get ready to do your first push. So my husband is at the top. My mom is right here. And the other thing I liked about my birth story was that everybody that I wanted to be in the room was in the room. I was able to have about 6 people in the room. I know that might be a lot for a lot of people, but for me, I'm a very free-minded, open person. For me, I didn't want it to be just a little intimate thing. I wanted to just share my experience with everyone, especially because at that point in time, I was the only friend in my friend group that was having a kid. So none of my other friends had children. So for me, I thought it would be a good experience to give them that, give them that experience of seeing somebody have a kid. And my sister was there, my stepmom was there, my mom, everybody was there. So I just love that. Like, I love being surrounded by everybody that I loved and knowing that they could they could see my birth experience. And I also have video thanks to my sister because she wasn't supposed to record, but she did. And I'm so happy she did because when I watch that video, it's the best thing ever. So I'm getting ready to push or whatever. And she's like, okay, I see a contraction coming. Because even though, like I said, I couldn't necessarily feel them, they could see it on the little monitor. So she said, okay, a contraction is coming, push. So I put my legs was back, and I just say, ah! When I tell y'all, I screamed. Like the movies when you see people having kids, that's me. That was me right there. I was screaming like really loud. The nurse, she told me on my shirt, she's like, honey, I said, yes, ma'am. She said, you don't need to scream like that. When I was like so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed because she was like, honey, all I need you to do is breathe. And I'm like, oh. I said, I'm so sorry. I've been watching too many videos. She said, I understand, but honey, you don't have to push like that. All you have to do is breathe through it. So after I got the whole breathing thing down and the pushing thing down, so she was born within, I would say, an hour and a half. My labor was not long at all, I feel like. It was great. Like, once I hit that 10 centimeters dilated and we started pushing that baby out, she came out in an hour and a half. She even told me, the doctor was like, I can't believe your baby came out so quick because you are a first-time mother. But a lady that has had several kids has been up in there and pushing for 5 hours. I said, oh, 5 hours? So at that point, I was so excited. I heard her cry. She had no complications. She was completely healthy. It was the birth that I've always imagined. I was able to do that. I was able to get up and walk, and I was pretty good. Like, I was energized. I'm like, dang, I just had a baby and I walked 3 miles today. Like, what? Like, oh, I'm killing it. Like, I was real hype about myself. And at that point, everybody was kind of hungry, so everybody decided to leave me. Don't do that, okay? Don't do that. Because that's what happened to me, okay? Everybody decided that they were hungry and they were going to dip and leave the hospital and leave me there all alone. That's not what you do with somebody that just had a baby, you know? So if I could give some advice to some family members, I would wait a little bit because you never know what is right around that corner, you know? So they all left. My husband, my mom, my dad, my stepmom, everybody dipped, okay? And I was there. It was just me and my best friend Tiana. Oh my gosh, she was there for me. Because when I tell you, I was done. I laid down and I kept bleeding. Just clots coming out, gushing out. I knew it was coming. I was like, something ain't right. Why do I keep clotting like this? I said, but maybe this is normal. Because like I said, I've never had a baby before. So for me, everything was new. I didn't know whether or not to complain. All I knew is I kept having to change that little puppy pad thing that they got on the bed. And it was getting on my nerves. That's all I knew. So I come in and the nurse is just like, honey, like, why are you bleeding so much? And I'm like sitting there and looking at her like, why the hell are you asking me? I don't know why I'm bleeding so much. Can y'all tell me why I'm bleeding so much? Is this not normal? That's where my head went, because then I started acting crazy. So from there, she like calls the doctor, but it's like super like Grey's Anatomy like she likes page doctor, get the doctor down here now. So I'm like, oh snap, what's going on? And I'm looking at Tiana. Mind you, my friend, like I said, I'm the only friend that has ever had a baby. So Tiana looking at me like, what the hell's going on? And I'm looking at her like, oh snap, like I don't know what's going on. So my doctor runs in and she's like looking, she's pushing my stomach hard down. And I guess they did not get all of the blood out when I was at my labor and delivery room. So they had to get the clots out, because if they didn't, I could have got a very, very bad infection. So she started pushing my stomach down more and trying to push it out. And when I tell you, it was the worst feeling, the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. And I do not wish that pain on nobody. But she kept pushing my stomach down. And then after she pushed it down, she was like, okay, it's not coming out fast enough. So from there, you don't want to hear anything graphic. I advise that you click off the video right now. So she takes her hands and she literally get in my cootie cat. Okay, she just puts it in there, the whole head, y'all. And she starts taking out blood clots with her hand. But when I tell y'all, crying. Then Arya, my baby, my child, starts crying. The child starts crying. Tiana picks up the child. Tiana's crying. Everybody's crying. So I'm just like, I'm in distress. So Tiana calls my mom and my husband back and like, hey, like y'all need to get back here because they are like killing a child and y'all need to be here. So she finally gets everything out. Like my doctor, she's the best doctor. She was the best doctor in the world. I commend her for doing what she did, because I did not want no type of infection, but she was so, even though she was doing something that hurt extremely painful, she was very gracious about it. She was like, honey, I have to go back in. I'm so sorry. I have to get this out. I don't want you to get an infection. I know it hurts. I'm so sorry, honey. Like, she was so nice about it. And I just could not hear it though, because I was crying. Like, I was so into it. So I am going to end the video here, and I hope that you guys enjoyed my birth story. I hope that you guys did not have to go through half of the horrible things I had to go through, but just in case you did, I would like to hear about it, okay? Because I cannot be alone in this situation. You hear me? So please like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what I can do for you.